Okay, so you know that phase we all go through where we're like, I'm gonna get my life together. I'm gonna drink water, journal, and find my inner peace. Yeah, that was me for 24 hours. Before I accidentally ended up in sweaty, trapped leg lock hell. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I signed up for what I thought was a calm meditation class, but actually joined a spin class taught by a man named Blaze who thinks yelling is love. Let's rewind. It was a Sunday. I was trying to have a soft girl morning. You know, matcha, gratitude, maybe a stretch or two while staring at nothing. I opened this fancy fitness app I just downloaded because I saw it on TikTok and saw a class called Stillness and Breath, 45 minutes, low light. Yes. I put on my comfiest leggings, my oversized hoodie, no bra because why would I need a bra to breathe? And I walk into the studio, blissed out and ready to meet my spirit guide. Instead, I'm greeted by loud EDM. I'm confused. I peek inside. It's dark, sure. There's low light, but there's also strobe lights, 20 people on bikes, and an instructor in a headset yelling, "Who's ready to sweat out the toxic energy?" I whisper to the front desk girl, "Hi, is this meditation?" And she goes, "No, babe, this is Spin and Soul. You're gonna love it." Want to know what I should have done? Left. Want to know what I actually did? I said, "Oh, cool," and walked inside like a moron. Blaze, yes, his real name is Blaze, like a fire emoji with abs, locks eyes with me and yells, "New rider in the back! Let's welcome her!" And the entire class starts cheering like I just got drafted into war. I sit on the bike. I try to adjust the seat. It moves like a medieval torture device. I look around. Everyone's clipping their shoes into the pedals. I'm in socks. Blaze walks over and goes, "You didn't bring spin shoes?" "Sir, I didn't even bring confidence." He slaps on loaner shoes that are 2 sizes too small and helps me clip in, which is just code for "now you're stuck, good luck escaping." We start. 3, 2, 1, sprint! And suddenly the music is blasting, my legs are flying, and Blaze is screaming, "This isn't just fitness! This is healing!" I'm like, healing from what? My knees are filing for divorce. I try to keep up, I try to vibe, but 10 minutes in, I'm sweating like I owe the IRS, gasping like a fish out of water, and gripping the handlebars like they're the only thing keeping me tethered to earth. At one point, Blaze screams, "Close your eyes and pedal faster!" Sir, do I look like someone who wants to die blindfolded? Finally, after 45 years, or minutes, whatever, the music stops. Blaze yells, "Let's come back to breath and gratitude." Oh, now we're breathing? My lungs have left the building. I try to get off the bike, and that's when I realize I can't unclip. My feet are literally stuck to the pedals, like I'm handcuffed to cardio. I'm yanking, twisting, sweating more than ever. People are wiping down their bikes and leaving, and I'm over here performing open bike surgery on myself, whispering, "This is how I die, attached to a SoulCycle knockoff." Finally, Blaze walks over and casually flips a switch on the side of the pedal like it's no big deal. Says, "Happens to the best of us." "No, it doesn't, Blaze. It happens to me, the worst of us." I limp out of the studio, wheezing, drenched, and emotionally broken, still wearing the wrong shoes because I didn't have the strength to unlatch them. I get in my car, look in the mirror, mascara down my face, hair like I lost a custody battle, thighs vibrating, and I whisper to myself, "Never again." Moral of the story. Read the full class description. Blaze is not your friend. And if you ever get stuck in a spin bike, at least have the dignity to scream silently, like I did. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and I still haven't forgiven that app for lying to me. If you've ever tried a fitness class and immediately regretted every decision that led you there, tell me in the comments. Let's sweat, cry, and unclip emotionally together. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Okay, let me just say this up front. I am not built for corporate life. Dress codes, passive-aggressive emails, pretending to care about synergy? No. I'm built for naps, snacks, and sending memes at 2 p.m. So when the pandemic hit and my office went full remote, I was like, this is my time to shine. No commuting, no small talk at the coffee machine, no pretending to understand Excel formulas. Yes, please. But the universe had other plans. Let me set the scene. It's a Tuesday morning. I'm in my bed, wrapped in a blanket like a human burrito. I haven't brushed my hair. I'm wearing my high school hoodie and pajama shorts with tiny tacos on them. I log into work just to look online. You know the trick. Open Slack, move your mouse every 20 minutes, and boom, Employee of the Month. Now, the week before, I had a minor meltdown. Just a small one. The kind where you ugly cry in the bathroom and Google how to fake your own death and move to Portugal. So my manager had scheduled a quick check-in. No big deal. I figured it was just her asking how I was doing and pretending to care while checking her emails. But, oh no. I click into the Zoom call and suddenly 5 faces appear. Her, HR, 2 random VPs, and the CEO. The actual CEO. Meanwhile, I look like I just rolled out of a frat house dumpster. I panic. I try to turn my camera off, but I miss and accidentally turn it on full screen. I went from ghosting the company to starring in a horror movie called Girl with No Job and No Pants. The CEO, this man I've never met before, looks me dead in the eyes and says, "Thanks for joining. We've been reviewing your recent feedback." And I'm like, "What feedback?" And then I remember, oh no. I wrote a rant in our anonymous HR survey last week, full Shakespearean drama. I said the company was a soul-sucking capitalist hellscape, and I signed it accidentally, with my name. Anyway, back to the Zoom. I'm frozen, literally and emotionally. Then the HR lady says, "We just want to hear how you're feeling." And because I'm sleep-deprived and over-caffeinated, I go full TED Talk. I start talking about burnout, unfair pay, the intern who keeps calling me ma'am, and how no one ever refills the virtual snack budget. I swear I blacked out mid-rant. At one point, I said the phrase, "If I wanted to feel this disrespected, I'd text my ex." Then I said, and I quote, "You know what? I quit." And I slammed the laptop shut like it was a courtroom drama, like I was Elle Woods and Legally Broke. But, plot twist, I hadn't muted myself. I hadn't even left the meeting. I just closed the laptop lid. So they saw everything. Me standing up in taco shorts, me pacing, me screaming into a pillow, me Googling unemployment benefits in my area. My phone buzzes 5 seconds later, a text from my manager. It's, "You know you're still in the Zoom, right?" I wanted to crawl into the earth and become moss. Eventually, I had to log back in and pretend I was joking. I was like, y'all, that was performance art, a joke, happy Tuesday. No one laughed. They gave me 2 weeks paid leave to reflect, which I spent binge-watching trash TV and updating my resume with skills like emotionally unstable, but great at PowerPoint. In the end, I didn't technically get fired, but I voluntarily transitioned into new opportunities. Corporate for, we mutually agreed to never speak again. Moral of the story, never trust anonymous surveys. Don't go full dramatic monologue unless you've confirmed you've left the Zoom. And for the love of God, wear pants during remote meetings. Okay, now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments the most chaotic thing that's ever happened at your job. Did you ever accidentally quit or roast your boss without realizing they were CC'd? Let's trauma bond, shall we? Love you, mean it. Bye.
Okay, so picture this. You're dating this super charming guy. He's tall, smells like vanilla and danger, always texts back within 5 minutes, Basically, a unicorn, right? We met at this rooftop bar through a mutual friend. He bought me a mojito, we laughed about how overpriced it was, and bam, instant chemistry. Let's call him Jason, because of course, it's always a Jason. Things escalated quickly. Within a few weeks, we were doing all the cute couple stuff. Movie nights, brunches, random 2 a.m. calls where we'd talk about childhood trauma like it was foreplay. You know the vibes. But, and there's always a but, one night I noticed something weird. He never invited me over to his place. Like, ever. It was always my apartment, my neighborhood, my bed, my Netflix password. And yes, I asked, and he said he was renovating. Renovating? Bro, you're 29 and rent a studio. What are you renovating? Your IKEA dresser? Red flag number 1. But of course, I ignored it. Fast forward 3 months. I'm getting real comfy. I'm imagining holidays together. I'm picturing our future dog, naming it Snacks. Like, I was invested. And then the plot twist. One fine Sunday, I decide to be cute and surprise him with a breakfast basket. Eggs, croissants, orange juice, the whole Pinterest fantasy. I'm like, this is it. He's gonna cry, propose, and we'll move to Italy. I pull up to the address he drunkenly mumbled to me one night. Yes, I had to dig for that. And I knock on the door. And who opens it? Not Jason. A woman. In his t-shirt. Holding his dog. I freeze. She freezes. The dog looks confused. And then she says, "Hi, can I help you?" My brain short circuits. I blurt out, "Hi, I'm here to surprise Jason. I'm his girlfriend." Silence. She stares at me, dead in the eyes, doesn't blink. Then she goes, "That's funny. I'm his girlfriend. You ever have your soul leave your body? Mine packed a bag and flew to Bali." So there we are, 2 women, 1 Jason, 1 betrayal, 0 croissants. Turns out he'd been dating her for over a year. They had a whole life, she knew his mom, they had matching Halloween costumes, and I was the side chick. The side chick. I didn't even know I could be a side chick. I'm punctual, I floss, I write thank you cards. Anyway, after a lot of gasps and angry laughter, we did the only logical thing. We teamed up. Yup. We went full CIA. We called him, put him on speaker, told him we were both at his house and he better come explain himself or we were going to sell his gaming console and donate the money to a llama sanctuary. He showed up 15 minutes later, sweating, stuttering, trying to make it make sense like he's doing a TED Talk on Polyamory 101. We let him talk for like 3 minutes. And then we both handed him his stuff. Yes, I brought a trash bag full of his things, like I'm the FedEx of betrayal, and told him to get lost. The best part? Me and the other girl, we became friends. Like, actual friends. We still talk. We even went on a We Survived Jason trip to Thailand. I got sunburned and a tattoo of a toaster. Long story. The moral of the story is, if he won't let you visit his place, he might be hiding a girlfriend or 2. Always trust your gut and never waste croissants on someone who doesn't know your middle name. Also, if you ever find yourself in a twisted love triangle, team up. There's power in girl code. Anyway, thanks for letting me rant. Love, betrayal, croissants. What more could you want in a Sunday story? Let me know in the comments if you've ever accidentally dated someone who was already taken, or if you were the other person and didn't even know. No shame here, just vibes and chaos. All right, love you, mean it. Bye! Okay, let's talk about something no one warns you about. Toxic friendships. Not toxic like, oh, we argue sometimes. I mean toxic like, is this girl trying to wear my skin? Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of the time my best friend, let's call her Tina, slowly morphed into my evil twin and tried to steal my entire personality. Let's rewind. Tina and I met at university. She was loud, hilarious, had this wild curly hair, and always wore combat boots, even to class. Instant BFF vibes. We clicked immediately over iced coffee, bad exes, and our shared hatred for morning people. For 2 years, we were inseparable, like finishing each other's sentences, accidentally showing up in the same outfit, cry laughing on bathroom floors inseparable. But then things started to get weird. At first, it was little stuff. I bought this cute leather jacket, right? Literally the next day, she shows up in the same one. Not similar, the exact same one. She even said, "Oh my God, I loved it so much on you, I had to get it." Okay, kind of flattering, kind of single white female. Then I dyed my hair auburn for fun. You guessed it. 2 days later, she texts me from the salon, twinsies. Sends a selfie. She's got the same hair, same cut, same smug smile, like this was a bonding moment instead of a warning sign. I started joking, like, "Girl, you want to file my taxes too?" But deep down, I was like, this is getting weird. Then came the crush incident. There was this guy in my class, let's call him Jack. Smart, funny, gave bookstore and good in bed vibes. I told Tina all about him. We stalked his Instagram, giggled over his dog, planned our wedding colors, the usual best friend stuff. And then she starts dating him. Out of nowhere. No warning, just a casual, "Hey Lex, don't be mad, but I went on a date with Jack. We totally hit it off." Excuse me? I'm sorry, did I black out and offer him to you like a Costco sample? I was fuming, hurt, but of course I tried to be the mature friend. I swallowed it down, said it's cool, while plotting my emotional revenge via silent treatment and passive-aggressive memes. But it didn't stop there. Next thing I know, she's showing up at my favorite coffee shop, the one I introduced her to. She applies for a job at the same company I'm interviewing with. She starts saying my phrases, like I would say chaotic good to describe stuff, and suddenly she's using it like she invented the dictionary. And then she shows up to my birthday party wearing my exact outfit. Like the one I posted a selfie in a few days earlier. Same dress, same shoes, same messy bun. And then she says, in front of everyone, "Don't we look like twins?" No, Tina, we look like you raided my closet and lost your damn mind. At this point, I realized this wasn't friendship anymore. This was cosplay. It hit me hard. We'd been through so much together, breakups, family drama, bad sushi nights, and suddenly I didn't even recognize her anymore. Or honestly, myself. I was shrinking to make her comfortable. I started second-guessing my style, my interests, my freaking hair color. So I did something that terrified me. I cut her off. No big confrontation, no messy text thread. I just stopped responding. Reacting, inviting. And she noticed. Oh, she noticed. She messaged me, "Are we good? You've been distant." And I finally said, "I don't think this friendship is healthy for me anymore." And she responded, "Wow, after everything, that's cold." Yeah, it was cold. But you know what? Peace is warmer. Since then, I've learned a best friend shouldn't compete with you. They shouldn't copy you like you're a Pinterest board. And they definitely shouldn't be applying for the same job as you without even telling you. Toxic friendships don't always look like betrayal. Sometimes they look like obsession in a cute outfit. So yeah, that's the story of how my best friend slowly tried to become me and how I said no thanks to the discount version of myself. If you've ever had a friendship like this, the type that makes you question your own identity, tell me in the comments. Let's heal together, or laugh together, or scream into the void together. Anyway, thanks for letting me trauma dump. Lexi out. Love you, mean it. Bye. Okay, I know everyone says they have the worst first date story, but unless your date involved a casket and a crying aunt named Dolores, I win. Hi again, it's Lexi, your unhinged life correspondent, and today I'm going to tell you about the time a man took me on a first date to a funeral. Let's start from the beginning. So, I matched with this guy, let's call him Ben, on Hinge. His profile was great. Dog dad, iced coffee enthusiast, said he loves deep conversations and dumplings. I was in. We messaged for a week. Vibes were good. He used punctuation. He didn't ask for feet pics, already ahead of 90% of the apps. He asks me out for Sunday afternoon. I'm thinking brunch, museum, maybe a walk and something cute. He's like, pick you up at 2. I want to take you somewhere meaningful. Romantic, right? Oh, Lexi, you sweet, naive idiot. So I put on this nice flowy dress, light makeup, nothing wild, and he pulls up in a nice car wearing a black button-down and dark jeans. I was like, oh, he's dressing up. Fancy brunch, maybe? Wrong. We start driving, I'm chatting about astrology or how I accidentally burnt toast that morning, cute, awkward stuff. And then I notice we're pulling into a church parking lot. I'm like, wait, are we going to a wedding? Still hopeful, still delusional. Ben turns to me and says super casually, so, my grandma passed. Today's the memorial. I didn't want to cancel our date, but I also didn't want to go alone. I blink. I literally say out loud, I'm sorry, what? And this man says, don't worry, you don't have to talk to anyone. Just sit next to me and be supportive. You look really nice, by the way. Sir, I thought I was going to get pancakes, not pay my respects to Gloria May, 1933-2024. But I'm already there, dressed like a floral backup singer. I can't leave without looking like an actual demon. So I go inside, and guys, it's a full-blown funeral. Casket, slideshow, weeping relatives, gospel music, the whole emotional buffet. And I'm sitting there like a freaking +1 of death. I tried to be respectful. I kept my hands in my lap. I even mouthed amen during a prayer, even though I was just thinking, what is happening? But it gets worse. We sit through the whole thing, right? And then, after the service, Ben introduces me to his actual mother. At a funeral. On a first date. She looks me dead in the eyes and says, so, how long have you two been together? And before I can say anything, Ben goes, oh, it's new, but I really like her. Y'all. I choked on my own soul. After that, we went to the reception because apparently I hadn't suffered enough. I ate a tiny sad sandwich while being asked, so, how did you know Grandma? By someone's cousin. I wanted to say I didn't. I came here for waffles. I didn't even have a cat, but I would have adopted one that second if it meant escaping that nightmare. As I left, he literally said, thanks for being there. You're really special. Sir, I'm not special. I'm traumatized. Blocked, deleted, prayed for. I even saged my purse afterward. Moral of the story. Don't trust men who say, I have a surprise. Always ask, what are we doing, before leaving the house. And if your first date includes hymns and a guest book, run. Anyway, if you've ever had a first date go completely off the rails, tell me in the comments. I need to know that I'm not alone in this. Love you, mean it. Lexi out. Okay, so I've always wanted to be one of those people. You know, the ones drinking green juice, stretching at sunrise, whispering namaste like their spirit is an 80% caffeine and suppressed rage. So one day, I decide Lexi is doing yoga. Not the YouTube in your living room kind. I mean full in-person group yoga with mats, eucalyptus spray, and an instructor named Skylar. This all started because my friend Mandy, who once cried during a sound bath and now thinks crystals cured her lactose intolerance, invited me to this soul-aligning yoga flow. I was like, sure. How hard can it be? My body, just wait. So I throw on my cutest workout set, tight black leggings, cropped tank top, sports bra that's doing the Lord's work, and walk into the studio like I'm about to achieve enlightenment and maybe meet a hot man named Tyler with arm tattoos and unresolved trauma. Instantly, I realize I'm in over my head. The women there look like they model for coconut water ads. They're barefoot and glowing and talking about Mercury being in retro booty or whatever. I'm sweating just trying to take my shoes off without falling. Skylar, the instructor, obviously, floats over and says, "Welcome. Set your intention." I panic and say, don't fart? We begin. At first, it's chill. Some breathing, some late stretching. I'm thinking, okay, Lexi, you've got this. You are one with the mat. Then we hit downward dog. And that is when my life fell apart. I bend over a little too confidently, and suddenly, rap! Loud, violent, public. Right down the middle of my leggings. Like the earth itself opened between my cheeks. I freeze. Skylar says, "Breathe into the stretch." Ma'am, I'm breathing into shame. I try to discreetly tug my tank top down, but it just makes it worse. Now it looks like I'm trying to twerk in slow motion. Mandy notices. She mouths, "Did your pants just rip?" I nod like a hostage. But I refuse to leave. I think, no, Lexi, you are brave, you are powerful, you are sweaty but strong. So I keep going. And then we hit happy baby pose. If you don't know what that is, picture this. Lying on your back, legs in the air, holding your feet like an upside-down rotisserie chicken. It's a vulnerable pose, a dangerous pose, a lethal pose if your leggings are holding on by one desperate thread. And as I pull my legs back, I hear someone giggle. Not just a little laugh, a full-on, she just exposed her soul laugh. I try to stay zen. I close my eyes, I focus, I do my best. But then, during final savasana, that peaceful lying down part at the end, my body relaxes a little too much and I let out the tiniest, softest, most spiritual moan. Like, not on purpose. It was just a weird, breathy sigh of pain and surrender. But it echoed in the studio like a haunted ASMR. Everyone froze. Skylar rang her little crystal bowl, and I literally whispered, "I'm so sorry, I'm going through a lot." After class, I booked it out of there like my leggings were still whole and my dignity hadn't just dissolved on a yoga mat named Serenity. Later, Mandy texted me a screenshot. Apparently, someone posted in the yoga group chat, "Shout out to the girl who ripped her pants and still finished class like a warrior." So yeah, that was me. Warrior 2 minus the pants. Moral of the story is, don't buy discount leggings. Don't do yoga on a first date with yourself. And if you accidentally moan during meditation, just own it. You're not weird. You're enlightened. Anyway, if you've ever humiliated yourself in a workout class, a gym, or just in public for no reason, tell me in the comments. I need to know I'm not the only human pretzel of shame. Love you, mean it. Namaste, bitches. Okay, I have a question. Have you ever made a decision so embarrassingly wrong that your brain replays it at 2 a.m. every night like a trauma TikTok? Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I accidentally joined a children's musical and became a singing banana in public, on purpose. Kind of. So, a few months ago, I decided to finally try something wholesome for once. Something that wasn't dating apps, tequila, or rage posting on Instagram stories. I wanted to get back into acting. I used to do theater in high school. You know, jazz hands, glitter eyeliner, the drama of being tree number 4 in The Lion King. So when I saw a flyer at my local coffee shop that said, Open auditions, community theater, all levels welcome, I was like, yes, this is my rebrand. I'm about to become cultured. Maybe even make friends who own mugs that say, live, laugh, love. The flyer didn't say much, just a date, a time, and the name of the show. Let's Get Fruity. I assumed it was ironic, like an edgy adult play about dating or food-themed metaphors for sex. I know, I'm not okay. I show up at the community center wearing a cute artsy outfit, black jeans, flowy blouse, eyeliner sharp enough to cut a man's ego, and immediately I know something is off. There are children everywhere. Tiny humans holding juice boxes, practicing lines like, I'm a happy strawberry. And I'm like, ah, cute warm up. No, that was the script. One mom looks at me and says, oh, which one's yours? And I, stupid, confused Lexi, say, excuse me? And she says, your kid, are they auditioning? No, ma'am. I am auditioning. I am the confused adult with no child, just a dream and poor reading comprehension. But I panic. I'm already there. I sign the sheet. They call my name. So I go in. They hand me a script and say, okay, Lexi, you'll be reading for banana number 2. No hesitation. No explanation. Just banana. Number 2. And I, in full delusion, still think, maybe it's a deep role. Maybe the banana is a metaphor. Maybe I'll be the emotional core of the fruit salad. I read my lines. I may be yellow, but I'm brave on the inside. Oscar worthy. They cast me on the spot. And like the unhinged people pleaser I am, I say yes. Because what am I going to do? Walk out in front of toddlers and ruin the vibe? Next thing I know, I'm in rehearsal, surrounded by kids named Brayley, Caden, and Jackson, who keep calling me Miss Banana Lady. I'm learning choreography that includes jazz hands and pretending to peel myself. The costume? Full banana suit. No face hole. Just mesh eyes and regret. The director, a 16-year-old named Tiffany, with a clipboard and the soul of a dictator, keeps yelling things like, Banana 2, stop outshining the grape. I'm sorry, I didn't know the grape was so sensitive. Opening night? Packed house. Parents. Camcorders. One dad had a foam finger. I performed my 2 lines with as much dignity as a woman in a banana suit can muster. Then, during the big finale, a group number called Fruit is Amazanding, I trip over a rogue pineapple, not a prop, and actual fruit, knock over a tray of Capri Suns, children scream, one kid cries, Tiffany whispers, you ruined everything. I bow anyway. After the show, one mom claps me on the shoulder and goes, that was brave.
And I walk home in my banana suit because I lost my real clothes in the chaos and no one would give me a ride. Moral of the story? Always read the full flyer. Never assume anything titled "Let's Get Fruity" is for adults. And if you ever become a banana by accident, commit to the bit. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and I was banana number 2. And honestly, I crushed it. Tell me in the comments, what's the most deeply stupid but hilarious thing you ever signed up for by mistake? Yoga retreat? MLM? Accidentally joined a pirate-themed improv group? Love you. Mean it. Lexi out.
You know that moment in a horror movie when the girl hears a noise and decides to investigate, even though you're screaming, "Girl, don't do it!" Yeah, that was me. But instead of a serial killer, I was living with Tiffany. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how my roommate stole my shampoo and then stole my man. Like full villain arc, and I was the dumb main character who didn't see it coming. Let's go back. So, I had just moved into this cute little apartment with Tiffany, a friend of a friend type situation. I didn't know her that well, but she seemed chill. Pretty, friendly, always wore fake lashes to brunch. I was like, she seems harmless. Famous last words. At first, things were fine. She was loud, sure. A little dramatic, definitely. She once cried because the sushi place ran out of spicy mayo, like full mascara tears. But I figured it was hormones or hunger or both. Then small things started happening. Like my shampoo started disappearing faster than normal. And listen, this wasn't drugstore shampoo. This was the expensive salon level stuff. Smelled like coconut and divine self-worth. I'd buy a new bottle, use it once, and then 2 days later, it's half gone. I ask her nicely, "Hey girl, are you using my shampoo?" She hits me with a fake innocent face and goes, "Oh no, I have a sensitive scalp." Okay, Tiffany, your scalp might be sensitive, but your lies are bold. So, I do what any petty woman with trust issues would do. I marked the bottle with a Sharpie. Yup, we're entering star surveillance shampoo mode. Next day, the level dropped again. I confront her again. She swears on her fake eyelashes she's not touching it. So I say, cool, then you won't mind if I move it into my room. Her face? Tight. Like she just got Botoxed by betrayal. Now, let's talk about the boyfriend. I was dating this guy, let's call him Dylan. Tall, charming, played guitar, probably emotionally unavailable, but I was blind because he made me pasta once. Dylan and Tiffany had met like twice. Both times he came over, she'd pop out of her room wearing full makeup and ask questions like, "Do you work out? You look like you lift." Girl, why are you flirting with a man who still uses Axe body spray? I told myself I was being paranoid. She's just friendly. Until one day, Dylan started acting weird. Suddenly, he's too busy to hang out, takes forever to text back, starts ending phone calls with, "I'll talk to you later, bro." Bro? Then one night, I come home early from work. I open the door and I hear them. Not like that, thank God, but laughing in the kitchen, together, alone. I walk in and they're sitting at my kitchen table, eating my leftover Thai food, and she's wearing his hoodie. His actual hoodie. I go, "What's going on?" Tiffany says, "Oh, we just bumped into each other and decided to chill. Hope that's okay." Bumped into each other? Ma'am, this is not a coffee shop meet cute. You live in my apartment. This is not accidental. Later that night, I confront Dylan, and this man, this coward in skinny jeans, has the audacity to say, "I didn't know how to tell you. It just kind of happened." Oh, it just kind of happened? Are you like a Sims character with no free will? The next day, I find my shampoo bottle, the new one, empty. Gone. Just sudsy residue and betrayal. That's when I snapped.
I walked into her room, handed her the empty bottle, and said, "You can have him, but you're buying me new shampoo, the big bottle." She blinked, tried to laugh. I didn't. I moved out a week later, blocked them both. The last thing I heard, they broke up a month later after Dylan accidentally flirted with her cousin. Moral of the story: never trust someone who cries over spicy mayo. Protect your expensive shampoo like it's government property. And if your roommate starts borrowing your clothes and your man, move out before she borrows your identity. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and yes, I'm still mad about the shampoo. If you've ever had a roommate from hell, a friend turned foe, or someone who borrowed a little too much of your life, tell me in the comments so we can trauma bond like emotionally unstable Girl Scouts. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Okay. Have you ever done something so embarrassing, so absolutely unrecoverable that your soul left your body and now lives in a different time zone? Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I accidentally texted my boss a thirst trap. A real, live, full skin, too much thigh, hey stranger, thirst trap. At 9 in the morning, on a Tuesday, during performance review week. Let's go back. So, I was getting ready for a date. This cute guy I met on Hinge who had a dog, good grammar, and a suspiciously well-lit apartment. Red flag, but I ignored it. I spent actual effort on this outfit. Like half my closet on the floor, trying on clothes to Megan Thee Stallion level effort. I ended up in this bomb black bodysuit, jeans so tight I couldn't sit, and hoops big enough to catch signals from space. And listen, the lighting was hitting. My hair was popping, the gloss glossing, the cheekbones blinding. So naturally, I took a thirst trap. Just a little one. Mirror selfie, flirty smirk, caption, "This is what you're missing." You know, respectful menace energy. I go to send it to the Hinge guy. Let's call him Matt. Open the Messages app, tap his name, hit send, done. I'm feeling powerful, untouchable, like Beyonce after a green juice. And then my phone vibrates. It's a new message from Mr. Carter, my boss, the man who says things like, "Let's circle back," and "Have you updated the spreadsheet?" And it all says is, "Lexi, I don't think this was meant for me." With the poto attached. Cue the sound of my career falling down an elevator shaft. I stop breathing. I stare at the screen like it personally betrayed me. I whispered to no one, "No, no, 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 no." I check my messages, and yep, instead of tapping Matt, I tapped Mr. Carter. Because of course his name also starts with M. Because the universe likes to see me suffer. This was not a chill selfie either, okay? This was legs, curves, smirk, body odie, corporate inappropriate on every level. My immediate thought was, I have to fake my own death. I need a new name, new country, maybe a face transplant. Instead, I text back, "Oh my God, I am so sorry. That was 100% not for you. I am mortified. Please ignore. I will delete myself now." He replies, "Appreciate the honesty. Let's pretend it never happened. See you in the 10 a.m. meeting." I almost threw my phone into traffic. I get on the Zoom call 20 minutes later. There he is, stone-faced, no reaction, just talking about KPIs while I'm sitting there in shame with a sticky note over my camera and a hoodie on like I'm entering witness protection. Then, of course, someone on the team is like, "Lexi, you look tired today." Girl, I emotionally aged 40 years this morning. The rest of the day, I avoid Slack, I avoid email, I avoid air. Every time I hear a ping, my fight or flight activates. To this day, Mr. Carter has never mentioned it again. But every performance review since has included the phrase, "Lexi brings strong energy to the team." So, moral of the story? Always double-check who you're texting. Never store your boss and your crush under the same letter in your phone. And if you do send your boss a thirst trap, own it. Apologize. Show up to the meeting anyway, but maybe keep your camera off. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and I'm currently looking for a new job. Kidding. Kinda. Tell me in the comments, what's the worst message you've ever sent to the wrong person? Did it ruin your life? Just your week? Let's bond over our digital mistakes. Love you, mean it. Lexi out.
Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You go on a date, he's cute, a little mysterious, says stuff like, "I'm not like other guys." And you, stupid, hopeful, chronically romantic you, believe him. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I accidentally went on a date with a magician, and not the hot David Blaine kind, more like if Chris Angel had a personality disorder and a Groupon. Let's rewind. So I met this guy on a dating app because, of course, I did. His name was Leo, and his profile said he was an entertainer who works with his hands. I was like, ooh, musician, chef, masseuse with boundary issues? He had this mysterious vibe, black and white profile pics, dramatic lighting, no smile. He messaged me things like, "You've got an intriguing aura." "Sir, I'm wearing sweatpants and eating leftover fries, but go off." We agreed to meet at this moody little bar downtown. I show up looking cute casual, red lip, leather jacket, I'm hot but not trying too hard energy. Leo shows up in a velvet blazer. Yes, velvet. Like it's 1874 and he's here to read me a cursed poem. He sits down, takes my hand immediately, no warning, and says, "You have very intuitive palms." Red flag. But I was 3 sips into a $16 cocktail and trying to be open-minded. We start chatting. I ask him what he does for work, and he smirks and goes, "I create illusions." Bro, just say you're unemployed. But then, I swear on my eyebrows, he pulls out a deck of cards from his jacket pocket. At dinner, like a literal magician. Because he is one. I try to act cool. I'm like, is this a hobby or... And he dead seriously goes, "Magic is my life. It's more real than people think." And that's when he does the first trick. He fans out the cards and tells me to pick one. I pick the Queen of Hearts. He tells me to hold it to my chest. Then he waves his hands dramatically, says some nonsense like Veritas Nocturna, and suddenly... it's gone. The card vanishes. Then he reaches behind my ear and pulls it out. And listen, I'll admit it. I was mildly impressed. I was like, okay, maybe I'm on a date with the next Harry Potter. Let me just roll with it. But then it escalates. He asks the bartender for a wine bottle and a napkin, wraps the bottle, taps it 3 times, whispers something spooky, and bam. The bottle disappears. Just gone. The bartender's like, "Bro, that's a $40 Cabernet Sauvignon." And Leo just winks. I'm sitting there like, am I dating a warlock? Is this a cult initiation? Should I be scared or aroused? And then he pulls out a lock, like a real metal, cold-to-the-touch lock. Says, "This is my final trick, unless you're not ready for commitment with me tonight." Nope, I was done. I stand up, I try to hand him the key back. He holds it in his teeth like we're in some weird David Copperfield fan fiction. I throw down cash and say, "You've been something. Good luck at Hogwarts." And as I walk away, he yells, "Lexi, wait, I can make your ex disappear too." What? Who told him I had an ex? How did he know? Was it on the card? Did he read my mind? Anyway, I blocked him before I made it to my car. Moral of the story, don't date anyone who uses the word illusion unironically. If a man brings props to a date, run. And if someone offers to make your ex disappear, that's not a date. That's probable jail time. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and I still don't know where my fork went that night. If you've ever dated someone weird, magical, or just completely unhinged, tell me in the comments so I know I'm not alone in this emotional circus. Love you, mean it. Lexi out.
Okay, so when people say, OMG, I wish I'd go viral, they're thinking flawless selfies, genius tweets, maybe a cute dog video. What they don't mean is you faceplant in public, make a dying animal noise, and wake up as the star of a meme called Pigeon Girl. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I accidentally went viral, and it was not the sleigh I thought it'd be. Let's go back. It was a normal Tuesday, like boring level normal. I had errands to run, a matcha latte in hand, and I was wearing an outfit that said, I've given up. Baggy tee, bike shorts, hair in a slightly greasy button. I was walking through downtown, earbuds in, vibing to Doja Cat, fully in main character mode, when I spotted this guy on the street filming something with a tripod. There's a little crowd forming. He's got one of those TikTok mics. People are laughing, answering questions, doing little dances. I'm thinking, oh, cute, local content creator energy. I keep walking. I'm not planning to stop. But then he points to me and goes, hey, you look like someone with opinions. What's one red flag in a guy? And I'm like, okay, that's easy. I grab the mic and say, if he says all his exes were crazy, run. Everyone laughs. I do a little hair flip. It's giving casual charisma. I should have stopped there. But no. I decide to walk off dramatically, like full rom-com strut into the sunset. Except I don't see the bird. Yes, the actual pigeon, just chilling, living its city life. I step toward it, it flaps, I shriek, but not like a normal scream. It was this high-pitched, throat-spasmy cartoon chipmunk noise that came from a part of my soul I didn't know existed, like a dying Furby. And then I trip. I trip over nothing, do a full-body lurch forward, and, in the process, because the universe has a sense of humor, my oversized tee gets caught on the crossbody strap of my purse and flips up. Full stomach, full bra, full exposure. There is a moment of silence, like the entire city paused to absorb my shame. And then a teenager screams, yo, she just flashed the pigeon! I run. I don't look back. I basically teleport out of there like Sonic with anxiety. I think, okay, that was awful, but it's over. Ha 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 ha. No, it wasn't. The next day, my friend texts me a TikTok. No caption, just, is this you? I open it. It's the video. My red flag moment, the scream, the trip, the shirt incident. All of it set to dramatic music, captioned, Pigeon Girl gives 0 warning signs. It has 1.2 million views in 12 hours. The comments are unhinged. Protect Pigeon Girl at all costs. She screamed in C minor. The pigeon's POV emoji eyes. Plot twist. She was the red flag. I think I'm in love with her. Then the memes start. Someone turns my scream into a remix. Someone else deepfakes me into an actual bird documentary. I get a DM from a guy who says, you flashed your way into my heart. Blocked. Then, the final blow, my aunt texts me, Lexi, are you trending for the wrong reasons again? Ma'am, again? What do you know that I don't? Anyway, the video hit 4 million views in 3 days. I trended on Twitter as Bird Girl, and now, whenever I walk near pigeons, someone whispers, it's her. Moral of the story, if you're gonna go viral, make sure your shirt is secure, never trust a pigeon, and sometimes the internet will make you famous for being the human embodiment of chaos. Embrace it. I'm Lexi, And yes, I still walk with my hand glued to my shirt hem. If you've ever gone viral for something you did not want to be known for, tell me in the comments. Let's scream together. In harmony. Love you. Mean it. Lexi out.
Okay, so there are bad interviews, and then there's what happened to me. An event so unhinged, I should have just walked into traffic afterward and called it a day. Hi, I'm Lexi, and this is the story of how I absolutely destroyed my chances at a job I really wanted before I even said hello. Let's rewind. So, I was in between jobs, aka deeply unemployed, with a Google Doc called Hustle Era and a bank account that looked like a math error. I find this job listing. Marketing coordinator at a cool, artsy startup. The office looked like plants, kombucha, and people who say vibes seriously. I needed this. I get an interview. I pick out my best I'm competent but still fun outfit. Neutral blazer, power jeans, booties that say hire me but also let's get drinks. I'm running late because I decided to manifest instead of checking traffic, so I'm already sweating. I grab a coffee on the way, oat milk latte, obviously, because I'm trying to be both alert and lactose-free. I finally arrive. Receptionist says, "You're right on time. They'll be out in a minute." I go to stand up. My purse hits the coffee cup. The coffee launches itself. Not spills, launches. Like it had dreams. It lands on my shirt. My white, silky, clearly not coffee-proof shirt. So now I'm wet beige and smell like a sad breakfast. I panic. I grab a tissue from the counter and dab, and I dab too hard. The shirt shifts, the tissue shreds. Now I have tissue bits fused into my chest like papier-mâché. Amazing start. Then the hiring manager walks in. Let's call her Deborah. Deborah has the energy of a woman who irons her socks. She says, "Lexi, right this way." We go into this glass-walled conference room, very open, very echoey. I try to sit down all cool and collected, but the chair wheels backwards and I do that awkward little hop lunge to catch it. In doing so, I fart. Yup. Not loud, not silent, the cursed middle ground. Audible but mysterious. Deborah flinches. I pretend to shuffle papers like I'm searching for my dignity. She starts asking me normal questions like, why do you want to work here? And I'm out here sweating, probably still leaking oat milk, trying not to scream, because I have rent due and low self-esteem, Deborah. Mid-interview, she asks me to print something from the office printer. Simple task, easy win. I walk confidently over to the printer, but it's one of those spaceship-looking ones with a touchscreen and attitude. I hit print, nothing happens. I hit it again, nothing. Then it starts printing. All the pages, like 72 pages of someone else's business plan, start spewing out and I can't stop it. Deborah's watching. I panic. I press every button like I'm defusing a bomb. The printer beeps, then jams. Paper everywhere, red warning light flashing. I've just killed the printer. I walk back holding one wrinkled page and say, "Here you go." And Deborah says, "This is a lunch receipt." I blink. It was from my purse. I had printed a receipt for soup. At this point, I'm like, just give the job to literally anyone else. I'll work in the parking lot. We finish the interview somehow. As I'm walking out, I knock over the water cooler, like full splash, flooded floor. I just say, "It's been a pleasure," and moonwalk my way out in soggy shame. I never heard back. Shocking. I know. Moral of the story? Always test your coffee lid. Never trust a printer. And if you fart in an interview, at least own it. Maybe say, "Excuse me," or blame the chair. I did neither. Anyway, I'm Lexi, and I'm currently employed, but emotionally unemployed from that experience. Tell me in the comments, what's the most chaotic thing you've done in a job interview? Please make me feel better about being the human embodiment of a LinkedIn cautionary tale. Love you, mean it. Lexi out.